comments in the middle, you can.
Fine. I've been sick for too long.
This is a revised? Okay.
Yeah, there's one small minor change. One line item.
Let me go, the camera's just on, let me go grab it.
Hi, how are you, my friend?
Okay, how are you?
I am living a dream.
Yeah. Mine seems like a nightmare.
Huh?
Mine's more like a nightmare.
I'm sorry. I'll just still go.
Okay. There you are.
Jim, I think Debbie's gonna sit there.
Who is?
Debbie, you can sit there.
Mr. I can resist myself next to these two handsome fellas.
You'll make it.
Jim Condon?
Okay,
Sergeant Over,
if
Sergeant Under, Sergeant Under.
you'd like to join me and start the meeting, call the meeting the Mchenry Township 2024 Budget Workshop with the road group. Call to order at 6:02 p.m. to join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Amen.
Okay. Call to order, pledge allegiance done. Approved minutes from February 6, 2024 workshop.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes from the February 6, 2024 workshop.
I'll second the motion.
I think there needs to be discussion.
Yeah, I know.
I got a first and a second, any discussion?
Yes. First, I was not here. Trustee Benedigo says that she was present, but Supervisor Barlow was missed in the attendance.
Okay. We'll make those two adjustments, so Michelle is here.
Michelle's
I was not here.
And I was missed.
That's why I went so smooth and fast.
Big.
Okay. So any motion, I would just include those two changes in it. So I guess, Adam, would you amend your motion to include those two changes?
I'll amend my motion to make the two changes as Ms. Benedigo recommended, and then approve.
John, do you have the second on that? Okay, John seconded. So all those in favor of approving the meeting minutes with the amendment, say aye. Aye. Those opposed? Hearing no nays, approved. Okay, I'm going to turn item number 4 over to review and discuss general road and bridge and permanent hard road fund budgets to the road commission. Mr. Condon.
You have the, both of them in front of you, and I'm
Yes.
glad to answer any questions. It's basically taking last year's budget and adjusting upward a little bit for cost of living things, and estimates for improvements on our road program, although we actually have an amount for our road program, and that's included in here. So I shouldn't say that, that's in the permanent hard road, but that's the general road and bridge. The things that you may want to know about is where we're purchasing. I will tell you that real quick, because that's a large one. It's, well, there's two things. First one is the engineering. That's 125. That's one of the larger ones. That's for multiple projects for the engineering that we retain.
What page is that, Jim?
What's that?
What page is that?
Permanent hard road, page 3. Or not permanent hard road,
Yeah.
general road and bridge, page 3. And it talks about engineering and surveying services. You'll see $125,000 amount there.
Yep.
Just to summarize quick, $30,000 for design of the road design and bid of the road program, $30,000 for construction services during the road program, $15,000 for engineering for Crest Hill subdivision, That's our CDBG grant that we're reconstructing this year, and $10,000 for construction of that, and then $5,000 for continuation of applying for future CDBG grants that we will hopefully get in the coming years. So that was one big one. The next big one on here is capital outlay. The capital outlay is $200,000. We are setting aside $100,000. We had ordered a new snow plow a couple years ago, and it's been delayed because of COVID and supply problems. So that truck will come in the following year. It won't be in this coming year's budget, but it'll actually be delivered the following year. We are setting $100,000 aside this year, $100,000 aside this coming budget year in that, and then we'll have the remainder in that following budget year. It's just under $300,000 for a plow these days. Yes, I think when I first started doing this, what was it, 2015 maybe, a tandem axle snow plow was $230,000, and now it's up to $290,000. So, other equipment that we're getting, a tarp for our asphalt truck, which is $7,000. We need another trailer for our equipment. Right now, our trailers that we have don't meet the load requirements for our vibrating roller. So we have to jump up a size, so we're buying one of those. And then just other equipment as the years goes by, there's some extra budget for that.
So you're talking about towing weight of the vibrating roller?
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's the big ones on the general road and bridge. And if you have any questions on that, I'm glad to answer them.
Do you mind when it goes back a couple of years? There was a time back in, I forget the subdivisions called there on 12 and, is it not State Park Road?
Yeah,
Lake
Nipper
Street.
Sink subdivision?
Yeah,
Yes.
correct. Is that something that's still being looked at, or?
You mean the buyout of that?
Yeah, about that property.
It's funny, I had a conversation with McDOT today about that subdivision. So if you recall, that subdivision is heavily inundated with floodplain.
I
Almost
used
the
to
whole
live down the block,
subdivision.
I know.
And being an engineer, thinking I can solve all problems, I thought that maybe there's a buyout program that you can do that the federal government supplies 80% and local government supplies 20%. And this is a perfect subdivision for it, because the first couple of years I was here, it flooded every year. And so I started the ball rolling on that, but when it comes down to the end, we would have had to contribute, or a local body would have had to contribute about $2 million. We don't have the money for that. In my opinion, I was glad to push it forward, but the funds ultimately would have to come from another source, because the road district or the township don't have that kind of funds. It should come from the county. I presented it to our chairman at the time, Mr. Jack Franks, and he said, buyer beware, that's not our problem. They bought in that's their problem. Whether you agree with them or not, that was the position at that time, and so it never went anywhere. Anybody that wants to pick it up, it's sitting there, and you'll find that the road district is ready to help you. We have a lot of information about it, but we don't have $2 million to cover the local portion, so.
You had to talk to Mike Bueller about that then, or?
I have not. I have not done that, no.
Here's the reason I asked you, because at the time when you brought that up, I thought you'd excavate a lot of property there. Where are you gonna bring the land? And I thought we could add to our park down there, because that park used to be longer at one point. And I don't know if that's part of your plan or not, that's why.
It was actually at the time when we talked about it with the buyout, about half the people, or half, 2/3 of the people, I don't remember exactly, were willing to sell their property and move out because they'd had enough. And we had actually talked to the conservation district about converting it back to just natural habitat. We'd be tearing down the buildings and converting it back to grass until such time as eventually most of the people would sell out. It would be the general consensus, and then it would be converted to natural habitat. that the conservation district would have. It would be a park for the conservation district.
Thanks for the info.
What's that?
Thanks for the info.
Yeah, and unfortunately, it's not gonna happen because
Right.
we don't have $2 million sitting around to buy houses, which is probably $2.5 million by now.
Yeah.
So, the only way it would happen, I will tell you, is if we had a major flood where the state of Illinois was declared a disaster area, a federal disaster declaration of the state of Illinois, then the federal government will cover 100% of it. So there were a few years I was hoping for a big flood for the whole state, but didn't
Well, I used to
happen.
flood down there all the time when I lived back at that point.
Yeah, we've had a couple of dry years.
Yeah.
It'll happen again. It'll be
No
back.
doubt.
We'll be out there. We'll be getting calls. My property's flooding. What are you gonna do? Nothing I can do.
Can't do nothing about it.
And that's on what I'll refer to as the east side of Round Hall.
It's on the south side.
South side of
Southwest
the
side. It's where,
So you come out Fox Lake Road, you go down 12 and then back in. to the
yeah,
right.
exactly.
Where one park is there, we have to park there?
Yeah,
Right up, you know.
all along there in
Right.
that land over
Yeah,
around.
but we have the park. If you
Right.
cross that channel,
There's that
it's that
aisle.
area
Yeah.
up in there,
Yeah.
except for you have to go all the way around to get to it.
Okay, yeah.
Yes.
Only question I have on the general road and bridge is, from a salary standpoint, it looks like a 7% increase you're projecting in salaries, but a halving of the employee insurance. Did we lose someone, or is there a reason that that insurance is declining so steeply?
I could not tell you. I can only tell you that those numbers were given to me by Flo.
Okay.
I will tell you overall, what I did was estimate a cost of living increase for all the employees, and then bumped it up a little bit beyond that to reward the employees that are advancing in their positions.
They all do a good job, so why not take care of it?
And I think if you, I think you'll find that we pay our employees substantially less than municipalities do and the county does. So we try to keep them happy.
Yeah, so for this one, it's 7%, and the reason I ask, we paid a lot of attention to the general town fund and Mary's employees, making sure that was the right number. But on your other one, I see it's like a 14% increase. So I just didn't know.
Oh, are you looking at budget to budget, or are you looking at from the current?
Budget to budget.
Okay, I'm not sure, that did not catch my eye when I went through it.
Yeah, it went up by
Let me
$100,000.
let me just glance real quick.
So permanent hard road you're talking about? And then,
So we're looking at permanent hard, or general road and bridge,
So,
right?
yeah, general road and bridge
Page 2.
went up by a couple thousand, which was 7%.
The one that I have has, we estimated 109,000, and we actually reduced it to 101,000.
Oh, yeah, man, it was I'm sorry, it was a 7% reduction.
Yeah.
So that's why
So.
I saw the reduction
we
there, but
plan
then,
on- The reduction is because we plan on making some changes. We've had staff, because we had a lot of non-dedicated roads over the years, and there's a lot of paperwork associated with providing them funds to maintain their roads. We've reduced those so far that we just don't need that full-time staff, and we'll make an adjustment. So that's why that went down.
okay,
Okay?
but the other one went up significantly.
The other one went up because we are changing from two reasons. We're trying to get back to when we had the major cuts from the board before you. We had to make major cuts in our staff. We're trying to get the staff to the level that we were before they cut everything, okay? And one of the examples, the best example is right now we use Eric to do snow plowing for us.
Yeah.
We're trying to get away from that. We don't want to use your staff to take care of our snow plowing. So we have enough staff to be back where we were.
So you're adding heads?
We are adding one.
Okay.
We need Eric to drive the bus.
I'm sorry?
We need Eric to drive the bus.
Yeah, well, or snow plow, you have your own property to
Yes,
snow plow,
exactly,
but
exactly.
we were fortunate enough to use him for snow plowing, but provided our staff stays the same that we are estimating, we will have the staff to cover our routes. So,
Get back to salaries. This goes back again a couple of years with the old board, when they cut your guys' salaries. And I know I had it backwards earlier when I brought it up in the other room. You were town fund was paying half of your salary, is that the way it was?
Yes.
No, we can continue that, because we
We
cover,
are not.
we're paying the whole
today.
thing now, correct?
I'll tell you my position on
Right.
the highway commissioner's salaries.
Right.
When you put the highway commissioner's salary back to where it's at,
I understand, it's
the
not
road
my
district
question.
will cover half of it.
Okay, that's fine.
Until that point,
I agree.
it's my way of saying, you know what, you previous, not you guys, you
I understand.
previous, it is. Anyway, you guys have been very easy and manageable to work with, and I greatly appreciate it. But as long as the highway commissioner is paid as a part-time employee for a full-time job, I'll probably not use any road funds to contribute to that.
Understood.
I don't disagree.
So those are the two budgets, and there's not any major changes. We pretty much have it dialed in all over the years. The things that you see increase are really increases. Fuel goes up, salt goes up, and equipment goes up. As I mentioned, everything just slowly climbs up, and that's basically what we do every year. We're pretty set in what we have, and we replace equipment as is needed. I will tell you, over the years, you know, when I first started this, the roads were repaved every 10 to 12 years. I will tell you now, we do things to where we expect them to last 20 years. Snow plows generally were replaced every 10 years. We are on a schedule to replace them every 20 years. They're gonna get rusty, and we'll live with it, and just do repairs on them. And
You know, you just reminded me of something else, I'm sorry, Jim. The bridge in city of Mchenry that goes over the river
yes,
was sprayed with some kind of liquid.
don't know, it was done by the city of
No, that's-
McHenry. That is
that's the
their
city of
road now.
McHenry?
Yeah.
Okay.
They annexed, it was originally our road.
Okay.
We did the reconstruction. When it was rebuilt, the township did that. But since that time, the city has annexed and taken that road in, so it's actually a city road.
Do you know what it was
No
sprayed
plow.
with?
What's that?
Do you know what it was sprayed with?
No idea, some sort of a sealer, I'm sure, for the
Yeah.
concrete.
Okay, we don't need to take any formal action. This budget goes on display for 30 days, and then it's gonna be,
Right, so if everything is okay and
Yep.
you guys are good to go, then what we'll do is I will get it posted tomorrow,
okay.
and then I'll get published or whatever, and we'll have our 30 days, and then we'll have the budget and appropriation April 11th, one at 6:30 and one at 6:45, prior to the regular board meeting for April. Because you'll have a annual meeting on Tuesday, and you'll have the regular board meeting on Thursday in April. So it's the 9th and the 11th.
That's April 12th, the annual meeting?
Pardon
The
me?
annual, April 12th,
The 9th,
the 9th?
I believe. Somebody check my
Ninth.
calendar. Pretty sure it's the
That's right,
9th
it can't be
and
the
the
12th.
11th.
I'm thinking something else when I say the 12th.
If it's a Tuesday, Thursday, it's, 9th and 11th.
All right,
Second Tuesday of every month.
right.
Something like that.
Second Tuesday in April of every year.
It's, the board meeting's always the second Thursday, so.
So the next item on the agenda is any of the board members have any comments?
Great job, Jim.
My job's easy, I have good employees, so makes life easy.
For part-time, you're doing a great job. We have a good road.
The thing is, I'm not. I'm reminded of that when the sheriff calls at 1 o'clock in the morning. Hello? All right, thanks.
It's even worse
So-
than they beat on your door at 1 o'clock in the morning.
That hasn't happened that I can recall.
Yeah, right.
So there is no public in attendance for any comments. I would take a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
All those in favor to adjourn at 6:21, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing no nays, passes. We're adjourned at 6:21.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Do
everybody.
you remember the guy from the meetings that used to sell the tree sap for dust control?
No.